early start for us because just after the top of the hour, we'll bring you the Cavs and Hornets from Charlotte. Second of a back-to-back for Cleveland after a costly loss in Miami last night. The Cavs shot just 36%, scored a season-low 79 points, and along the way lost Kevin Love, who took a shot to the mouth in the first quarter and is now going through the concussion protocol. The Hornets are still hanging around the outer fringe of the playoff race, 5.5 out. They've won 4 straight, would probably have to win their final 7 for any sort of miracle playoff appearance to happen. But let's start with the Cavaliers. G.A., you did the game last night. What stood out to you about the Cavs' performance most?
Honestly, they were putrid. They were really a bad team. I really was impressed with the physicality and the intensity from Miami. And it was a wake-up call for Cleveland because I don't think since this group, as presently constructed, has seen that type of physicality. That was a playoff atmosphere. That's the first time I've been in American Airlines Arena. And it was actually, the arena was full before the tip. Like, generally, it doesn't fill up to about the second quarter.
Or halftime.
Yeah, halftime. I mean, it's like a bunch of empty seats. And so that they didn't handle that intensity and that physicality well. And I'm talking from LeBron on down. I mean, they were manhandled in that game. And so it's easy. You can listen, if you don't believe in Cleveland, they gave you every reason to not believe in them last night. I wasn't as concerned with them, though, because, remember, they've got a lot of guys that have never had that experience. Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., those guys have never played in any kind of a playoff atmosphere, right? Because they've never even been in a playoff push.
Right.
And so for them, I thought it was a rude awakening. And I think George Hill, Rodney Hood, for them coming over, it's the first time they've experienced it in the roles they have on that group. And they didn't handle it well. So I think tonight will be really telling because what you want to see, we've all been on great teams that have had it handed to us, right? I mean, we've 60-win teams. I remember we lost to 2 teams that won 20 games back-to-back nights by 25. In a year, we won 62.
Yeah.
But it's how you respond to those games. Like, so tonight will be very telling. No Kevin Love. How all those guys respond to what happened to them last night. Do they take pride in the fact that they got embarrassed on national television?
Well, and the results will have an impact on the standings, as you can see. Philly plays tonight. Cavaliers play tonight. They could flip-flop by night's end. Gary, when you look at the standings, how much does it matter to the Cavaliers where they're seated moving forward?
I don't think it matters to them at all. I think when you get into the playoffs, and especially when you got the best basketball player in the world on your basketball team, they did it last year when they did it to Boston. They didn't care if they was the one seed. They went into Boston and they took it from Boston. I think they're going to do the same thing. You don't want to play this team, I don't think, in the playoffs with him, because he's going to change in the playoffs. He's going to be a better basketball player. He's going to be more serious about things. Last night, I didn't even think he was engaged in the game.
South Beach-itis?
Yeah, that's what I say. He was South Beach-itis. I didn't even think he was engaged in the game. And I think when they come back tonight and they play Charlotte, they're going to be a wake-up. It's a team that's a bad team in Charlotte. They're not playing very well. And now he's going to come here and he's going to make a statement. You know, I think I'm not worried about it. I think when they get to the playoffs, they'll be fine. They're going to beat somebody on their home court, and they'll be fine. They'll be okay.
8 games left, half of them against teams currently in the playoff picture, half of them against teams like the Hornets who are not, although they have made a little push here lately. What's to work out for Tyronn Lue, for Larry Drew, and for the Cavaliers?
Well, for Tyronn Lue, you need him on the sidelines. You need him to continue to stay away and get his health together first and foremost. But for Larry Drew and these Cleveland Cavaliers, to me, they got caught up in a situation last night where Miami had this game circled. And they want to give it to LeBron James every time he comes back, to South Beach. The Cavaliers had it circled for other reasons. and
what reasons are those?
Well, those are better left unsaid. Okay. I think sometimes, you get caught up in a situation late in the season where LeBron knows he's not fighting for the top seed in the Eastern Conference. So what's his motivation to go down there and prove a point when he knows he doesn't have a full complement of players? They're not, prepared for a playoff-type game against this Miami team. But you have to be careful if you're Cleveland about flipping that switch because LeBron can flip it. But this is a whole new cast of characters. He doesn't have the same group of guys that they've had going into these playoff runs in each of these past 3 seasons that can all look at it and go, well, even if we can't flip the switch, we know how to help LeBron move over to the switch to flip it. Now you're talking about guys, as Jay mentioned, who are not familiar with the roles they're going to play on this team in this atmosphere, and the playoffs will be different. Jordan Clarkson, Nance Jr., all of these different guys, Rodney Hood. It is going to be a different kind of playoff pressure that they're not used to. Even if they've been to the postseason in Rodney Hood's case, you don't know what it's like being on a playoff team with LeBron and the scrutiny that comes with that.
But the one thing that's different is that he doesn't have a lot of old heads, a lot of old guys that's not athletic.
Right.
He's got a lot of athletic guys. Even with Clarkson and Nance and them, I'd rather go in there this year in the playoffs with them instead of what he went in there last year with Williams and all of them. They're more athletic, and I think they'll adjust to it. And once you get into the playoffs, it's just like if you got butterflies, once you start going up and down that court, you're going to adjust to it. And I think that's a little different. They're going to be a little bit more athletic, and they'll be a little bit more different. I still think they're probably one of the teams to beat in the East, because that's what I feel that way.
My only concern is that how much time do these young guys need to get adjusted? Because normally you have a great cushion when you got Kyrie Irving and a healthy Kevin Love and LeBron, on your side. Now you got LeBron at the height of his power, still obviously at 33 and 15 years deep in his career. But Kevin Love's got a chicklet loose.
Yep.
He's had injury after injury, tough season for him physically, and you don't have that second score, that dynamic second option like you've had in Kyrie that can rescue you, early in games, early in a series, and certainly at crunch time when you need somebody to make that shot. That element is gone from this team.
Well, not only has this group not gone through a playoff run together, because the season has been so segmented, this particular group has not been healthy together for a good run of games of more than 5 or 6 in a row so far this season.